Hey guys, so today's topic, it's gonna cover a lot of things, but in the end, it's about finding your tribe, finding your people, right? The people who get you, the people who enjoy you, the people who celebrate you, not tolerate you, the people who are just enjoying your energy, your company. You don't have to turn your light down. You don't have to dumb yourself down because they literally get you, right? And in the beginning, when you first meet somebody, it shouldn't be hard. Nothing's happened yet. It should be effortless. So, because we were with Cassandra and Johan the other day, and we had literally been speaking about them. Like, you know how couples, you reminisce, and we were talking about them, and then out of the blue,
they caught our live. They caught our live last week,
and she was like, "Oh, we were just gonna surprise you guys because they knew they were gonna be in town." And then we ended up reaching out, and it just all worked out right because we were in alignment with our thoughts about each other or whatever. So they were like, "We wouldn't dare come to your neck of the woods and not see you guys," but because they were surprising their granddaughter, they were just gonna surprise us as well. So in the restaurant the other night, it was so loud. You really couldn't hear and everything.
Yeah, we went live.
So what I like to do is kind of recap how we met them and use them as an example for some of the things that we've experienced in life and how we are and how we like to be treated in return, kind of thing, right? So many years ago, we were at the marina in Detroit, and the marina was having an event or some type of celebration or party. So basically, a typical weekend at a marina, it's usually the boaters themselves, and then maybe one of your neighbors might have company. But sometimes there's bigger events like a holiday or something, or a movie night where a lot of people have guests. So this is one of those situations where there were a lot of people. It looks like it's frozen. A lot of people visiting the marina that day, and it's in the summertime, and it's in Michigan, right? And so lo and behold, Johan and I, which is the husband, we catch each other's eye, and then I'm kind of looking at him and his outfit, and
he's so fabulous.
He's looking at me, and we both go, but it's like in a good way, where you're just taking in the essence or the vibe of a person. So he grabs his wife and he walks up to me, and we just start talking. And I go, "Wait, let me get my wife because I don't want her to miss."
Was I there? I don't remember.
I'm talking about after we had first started talking. You weren't there yet.
Yeah.
See, Chris don't remember, so try to just listen to the story with everybody else. So I said, "Wait, let me go get my wife." So I'm like, "Come over here, Chris," because I didn't want her to miss this. It was just thing after thing after thing, as if we had known each other for years, right? So Cassandra and Yo were in town from California, and they were visiting someone else. But we got caught up in each other so much that they ended up coming over to our boat, and then we drank them, fed them, and we just continued to talk the night away, right? So it was just easy, and it flowed, and everybody was complimenting each other and all this different stuff. So to go back to the visual, they had on like these white blinged out shirts that had like gold accessories on them, and they had these white jeans on, and then Johan had on like a white tennis shoe with some gold stuff on it. His wife had on a white sandal kind of shoe with some gold on it. So they were like coordinated, but they just looked
fabulous,
like celebrities or something. And we had on white jogging suits that day with like a little blue stripe down the side, and we were matching and whatever, but it was like this clean, crisp, popping type thing, right? So to give you the visual, it's because some people, it's all your perspective. Do you look at it and celebrate somebody else's glory, or is it disturbing or off-putting, or does it make you go, ugh, right? So I'm just giving you the visual. Forget the fact that once you start talking to them,
the energy is
wonderful. The energy is good. Mm-hmm. The conversation is good, and everything is flowing, right? So the next day, because we exchanged numbers, and they were like, "If you're ever in California, come see us." And then I always tell people, hold on now, because we're the kind of couple, we will be in your area at some point, and we will show up. So I just make sure that people mean what they say. Because a lot of people say, oh, we'll see each other again, and it never happens, right? And she was like, oh, no, that's great. I would love you guys to really come, you know? So then the next day, she must be running around. She's on vacation. She was tired of eating out. And nobody had prepared a meal for them. So she calls and goes, hey, would you guys like to have dinner together today? We're like, absolutely. And she was like, but I want a home cooked meal. So in Chris's mind, she was like, sure, we'll cook for you guys. Come over. She was like, no, we want to get groceries and we want to come to your house and cook for you. So then my wife was like, where they do that at? But sure. So that's what happened. They bought groceries. They came over. They cooked at our house. We ate in the backyard. And again, hours and hours and hours of enjoying each other's company. So I say that to say, if Chris and I weren't feeling abundant and living abundantly and accepting and didn't have open hearts, we might have been, it's even hard to speculate that we would have been bothered by somebody else's glory.
But some people are that way.
But we literally don't come from an envious spirit, a jealous spirit. We literally love to see people being well, doing well. Mm-hmm. And if a person is surpassed where we are, we just put our heads down and go to work, right?
Yeah, we're happy. We're happy to see people in their success. I mean, when we went out to California and they had like 4 or 5 Corvettes and a Tesla, and they're not materialistic. They just like what they like.
But
and
the
they
point
work
is,
hard.
they have stuff, but they're still good
they're
people.
Giving, loving
They
people.
give more than they take, just like us, right? Mm-hmm. So let me just make sure I'm covering all these different things.
So,
but at the end of the day, beyond the physical appearance of them being fabulous and them, they've been together a long time, right?
42
and
years.
To see that they have a healthy relationship and to see that they love one another and they're not just married, they're friends. So there were these commonalities, right? And like I was telling them, oh, my parents were in boating together and they rode bikes together and they traveled together. And this was another example of a couple who enjoyed each other's company. So even within their relationship, they're not tolerating each other. They're celebrating each other and they pour love. And then they honor each other and they carry themselves like kings and queens. But then when you come into their presence, they roll out the red carpet and extend that same level to you. And we're the junior version of that. We do the same thing, right? And so I wish that type of encounter happened every day, all the time, but it doesn't. So same thing when we come to the boat. Visually, we might not all look the same, or you might not even think that we would know each other's or be in each other's lives. But when you get past the surface of it, we enjoy, we laugh, we share food. This morning, I wanted a second cup of coffee. We had finished our last 2 pots. I'm just going to go to one of my neighbors. Mm-hmm. It's just wonderful to be able to be yourself and be celebrated for who you are and how you are and not being judged and doubted and dogged out. It's just
for being you or I mean, just being sometimes I don't know why, and maybe it's probably to teach us a lesson, because sometimes finding your tribe in life is hard, and the older we get, your circle seems to become smaller and smaller, but we're glad that you guys are here for it, and we're glad you guys are part of our circle as well.
What ends up happening is we have a couple in Texas, 2, and we have a couple in Detroit, and we have Cassandra and Yo in California, and we have people in Arizona, and we have people who live out the country. So and we have people in Alabama, right? So we have people, but they're just so spread out. And so you have to be intentional about connecting when you can connect, So let me see, lifelong connection that we made with them. Because again, we were open to all their glory, right? Not in competition with, as
a matter of fact, they're our mentors. We look at them and we say, hey, as we grow older together, we want to be like them.
Not just be together a long time, but be in a healthy, long relationship, right? And so I want to give examples of, if somebody else is doing something, it's all about your perspective and how you look at it. If you're coming from an abundant place, not a place of lack, enviousness, an ugly spirit, you can, and if you have a positive mindset, you can look at somebody else's situation, and this is what we did the very first time, and what we do to all the people that we celebrate in our lives. You look at them and you go, look at them. Oh my God, they're beautiful. They're sharp. They're glamorous. That's fabulous.
Go ahead, baby.
Use this one anyway. You don't have to touch that one. They're awesome. They got it going on. They all that in a bag of chips. These are positive affirmations and positive comments, right? Wow, they're blessed. They're a blessing to be around. What can I learn from them? I admire that. When I get to their stage in life, I foresee that for myself, or I would love for that to be us. That's coming from a positive mindset, right? But if you're coming from a negative mindset and you see somebody that maybe should be getting all those positive adjectives, right? A negative mindset coming from a place of lack, coming from a place of hurt, coming from a place of envy, coming from a place of jealousy, your same comments might be, who do they think they are? They doing too much. Ugh. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's corny. What is all that about, and why do you have to feel that way?
Instead of being happy for someone else in their life and their love. And
exactly. So usually, if that's the type of things that run through your mind, or that you say out loud, or that you call somebody else on the phone and got to drag somebody down and bring them down and all that, then there may be a situation internally for yourself where you don't feel like you're enough, where you don't feel like you deserve that as well. Just because you don't have it now, you might not be feeling like you can't even foresee it in your future, right? And so then you get to a point where you're like, well, how dare they? How dare they what? Be great? How dare they live their life to the fullest? So why can't a person be fly and great, awesome and humble, bold, outgoing, charming, love to have conversation, never meet a stranger, kind and polite, without somebody else flipping it into a negative, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's about living abundantly, not necessarily with things, but your spirit, your heart, right? And so I just would encourage us to be open and receptive, and that way you don't miss out on all the things. Like now we have a lifelong friendship with some people because we were open to receive their abundance, right? And so that's my whole spiel. Basically, stop saying why and why not, or questioning how somebody else is moving, how they move. And if you can't learn from it or grow from it, you still don't have to poo-poo on it, right? Mm-hmm. Applaud it or not, but don't come from a place of lack. So
yeah.
Did you get
absolutely? Right. I think everybody's following you, and again, I mean, it does take time to find that core group of people, but at the end of the day, and I want to thank you, Shirley Adams, for those 50 stars. Girl Take Note podcast. Sure, send me a message to my inbox, and we'll see what we can do to put something together. And then thank you so much, Deborah Elaine Brown, for those 1,000 stars. You guys are definitely going to be in the giveaway, and we appreciate each and every one of you all. But the laws of attraction will bring the right people to you, and then over time, we have to develop the spirit of discernment to know who's for us or who's not for us. And when you encounter those people mm-hmm. that are not for you and what you are about, especially when you're bringing love and light to the world, then you sometimes, and even when it comes to your family, you have to, learn how to, unfortunately, you have to cut those people off or love them, from afar. Because you don't want to allow that, because it will bring you down as much as it hurts.
A person who hasn't achieved their goals in life, sometimes they're not happy for you when you achieve yours. So even when your goal is just a conversation or a thought or ideal, that person will, like if it's a candle, they will burn your light out, right? Before you even get started. Because if they haven't done it for them or can't imagine it, how can they then go, oh, that sounds like a great idea, And so I just, reconnecting with Cassandra and Yo made me reminisce, and it made me think about the different people we do have. They're just physically not where we are in this moment, right? They're spread out, but we do have a tribe that gets us and is here for,
and that loves
where
us.
we were and where we are and where we're going, because we're continuously evolving, right? So you got to be with people that's okay with where you were, where you are, and where you're going, because it should be constantly changing. It should. So shout out to them and everybody else who is truly down for us and who we enjoy and don't have to change, dim light, none of that.
We appreciate you guys, and we love you guys.